When if stormtroopers could aim? Stormtroopers were bad at aiming. Darth Vader knew it. The Inquisitors knew it. Everybody knew it. And they were sick of the instructors. They decided that they would get bounty hunters to teach shooting. And this was by the time of the New Hope. The stormtroopers had failed several times. They had failed to kill the Jedi Ezra Bridger, and they barely killed Kanan Jarrus. And it wasn't even stormtroopers that killed Kanan Jarrus. And the mighty stormtroopers were not that mighty. So they hired bounty hunters and Mandalorians to teach these stormtroopers. The bounty hunters and Mandalorians refused until they heard about the pay. The pay, 500,000 credits per rotation, which was so much per rotation. They needed the stormtroopers, and Mr. Unlimited Power could get unlimited money. Training was tough. Only the strongest would survive. The weaker ones would die, and ever since they were cadet, they never went easy on them. They were going tough and tough and tough. And Palpatine was getting impressed seeing the results. By the time of the New Hope, when Vader boarded the ship, Vader told the stormtroopers to go for stun, but they never did. As I said, the training was tough, meaning the bounty hunters taught them no mercy. So, instead of stunning Princess Leia, they killed her. Vader was displeased and killed every single stormtrooper. Vader was still super powerful. None of the stormtroopers could beat him. Vader reported this to the Emperor, and he told Vader, "Mercy is not the way, but if you insist, Vader, I will have a little discussion with these bounty hunters." Obi-Wan felt this. He couldn't die yet. He had to get Luke, and he had to train him in the ways of the Force. He couldn't die until Luke was properly trained. He was saddened by Leia's death. So what he would do next was probably one of the worst things he did. He took R2-D2 instead of R2-D2 leaving, because at this time R2-D2 and C-3PO escaped. He took R2-D2 knowing that Luke would follow. Luke did, and he planned a trap with the Tusken Raiders to make Raiders, not radars. Imagine there were Raiders, and to make it seem like Obi-Wan was the hero when he was not. He was the kidnapper. Luke thanked him, and Obi-Wan started to introduce him to the ways of the Force. Luke was fascinated, but said, "I have to get home to work," and he told Obi-Wan basically, "I'll take you to Mos Espa or somewhere, but I can't leave Tatooine." And basically Obi-Wan says, "Whatever the Force tells you, Luke," or whatever he says in New Hope. It's been like a month since I watched New Hope. I loved Revenge of the Sith and Clone Wars. I'm focusing more on that. I like the prequels the most. I don't know about you. Comment down if you like the prequels the most. Alright, I'm off topic. So anyway, the disintegration happens when Darth Vader orders the disintegration of Beru and Uncle and Owen. I hate Uncle Owen so much. Comment down if you hate Uncle Owen. I absolutely hate that man so much. Even though he did it for Luke's sake, he was so protective. I would have disintegrated him myself. I think that's a little too violent, but yeah, I would have done that. Basically, Luke says, There's nothing left for me here. I'm ready to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father before me." And Obi-Wan pats Luke on the back, takes him to Mos Espa. Basically, everything happens the way it does, but except when they get to the stormtroopers, they're not weak-minded, and Obi-Wan is forced to fight. He fights all of them. There are more waves coming, so they have to escape in a ship somehow. So no Han Solo. They'd have to go and steal a ship. They stole a small ship. It was a low-class ship, but it was the best they could do. and Luke flew it. It was smaller than the Millennium Falcon, but large enough to hold the both of them and have enough space for them to move, and enough for the droids. Also, they had to head to Alderaan and finish the mission. It would take a lot longer to get there because they were not in the Millennium Falcon, and Alderaan would not be destroyed because Princess Leia was dead. They had no leverage against. They had no leverage, and also Obi-Wan revealed Luke about his past. Luke was a little upset at Obi-Wan, but understood the circumstances. Obi-Wan lost his lover, his family, his father figure, and Anakin killed. Anakin killed his almost 99% of his family. Satine and his father figure he did not kill, but he killed everybody else. The plan would be different this time, since they didn't have to rescue Princess Leia. The plan would be to destroy the Death Star. It had no shield, but there was just one starfighter again. There was just one ship against a whole fleet, and this ship was slow, barely had any shields and weapons. Obi-Wan decided they would need to go and find the rebels. He contacted Senator Organa, and he said to meet him on Alderaan, which they did, and they devised a brilliant plan. Obi-Wan was a very old man, but very powerful. He would distract everybody, taking out all their attention, while Luke would fly in undetected, and he would blow up the Death Star. Obi-Wan knew that it would be his time tomorrow, where he would become one with the Force. He enjoyed his last day. He taught Luke as much as he could, and he promised Senator Organa that he made Senator Organa promise that he would always take care of Luke and watch over him. Senator Organa agreed, and he made Senator Organa promise him one more thing, that Luke would go to Dagobah to finish his training in case it didn't work. Obi-Wan went on the Death Star, caused a distraction, took out hundreds of stormtroopers, but there were too many and they had good aim. One shot his shoulder. Well, Obi-Wan's defense was getting neutralized, and he was not as strong as the Force as everybody else. He only got this strong because of his hard work, and he was getting old. He knew that his time would be up soon, so he took a risk. He used a Force projection. I mean, he didn't use a Force projection. He used a mind trick, like not a mind trick. Like he used the Force to contact Luke in his mind, knowing it would be a risk, telling Luke to hurry. Luke was in a hurry. He got this message somehow. He thought it was his imagination, but he hurried up. There were several TIE fighters coming at him, and Vader came to confront Obi-Wan. Their duel was fierce. Obi-Wan was stalling, and he didn't want to kill Vader. He knew Anakin was there deep down inside of him. He gave up on Anakin. He gave up on Anakin on the outside, but inside he knew Anakin was still there. And Luke was taking out every single TIE fighter with the help of his team, and he needed a perfect shot, and he wanted Ben to read his mind. He didn't know it, but he was using the Force out of desperation. He told Ben to get out of there, and Ben said no. He said, "This is my time. I will die with every single stormtrooper on here." Luke cried, but shot, and Luke blew up the Death Star. Soon, Palpatine got news of this, and he sent the best stormtroopers who fought like crazy, and Luke was in danger, and everything was gonna change.